Tenet is the first new film to be released in cinemas in about 5 months. As if a new Christopher Nolan film wasn't hyped up enough, now it's billed to be the saviour of cinemas. That's a lot of weight it didn't ask for, innit? Before we get into the review, I just want to let you know that this video is sponsored by the legends over at Surfshark VPN. This is the last chance to get that stupidly generous 85% off with 3 extra months for free, so use the promo code Jack Howard. I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, Tenet is almost overwhelming. It moves at a breakneck speed. It's full of ideas, breathtaking visuals, all set to Ludwig Göransson's fantastic, pulsating score. It feels like a film that's celebrating the scale and scope of cinema. It transports you from one beautiful location to another in the blink of an eye. The set pieces are ginormous and done for real, which gives the film, even during the highest heights of its very high concept, a visceral and grounded feeling. However, I didn't love it. It's not flawless. A lot of people are saying that this is Nolan's most complex film yet, but I don't think that's true. It doesn't seem any more ambitious than his previous work. What I would say is that the storytelling here is kind of clunkier, so sometimes even the simpler plot points are difficult to follow. I've seen it twice now, and I think the first time I watched it, I missed one piece of dialogue, and I didn't know what they were doing for about 10 minutes. Like I said, everything moves at a breakneck pace, and especially on my first watch, I felt like it was in a rush to get through it all, like it wasn't enjoying itself. And I would guess that it's because it's trying to pack a lot in and keep the running time to 2.5 hours, which is still, it's not a short film. The action sequences are spectacular to watch, especially in IMAX, and I was lucky enough to see it in the BFI IMAX in London, which is the biggest screen in the UK. You know that video that's going around of Tom Cruise seeing the movie? I wasn't at that screening, but I did see it with Edgar Wright sat in front of me, which was weird. I really like Nolan's commitment to a subjective point of view. He keeps the camera with the characters for a lot of the movie, even in some of the more spectacular action sequences, like in the car chase. Arguably, it would be more cinematic to cut to an objective point of view or to a more impossible angle, which Nolan never does. He understands that keeping the camera with the characters makes it feel real. It makes it feel more dangerous. But in order for an action scene to really be effective, we need to understand what the stakes are, what the character's trying to accomplish. Otherwise, you're just watching stuff happen. And in Tenet, it's not always clear, and sometimes it's guilty of spectacle for spectacle's sake. When I saw that plane crash in the trailer, which they really did, by the way, just side note, that's amazing, I was wondering what the story was going to be in that moment, but it kind of is just, it's a plane crash. It's spectacle, which I'm all for. I like a bit of smashy crashy. I'm only human. But I do like my spectacle served with a side of suspense. A dash of drama. I've decided that I think I'm going to stop watching trailers now. This is it. I think I have to take some responsibility for how much of this film I saw before it came out. The plane crash, the reversing car, the hallway fight, these are all moments that I think would have blown me away if I hadn't become desensitized to them after seeing them for the better part of a year. And yes, marketing's to blame, but I should have some self-restraint. So no more trailers, I'm done. Something that I do feel was missing is a focus on character. It's not a performance thing. John David Washington was great in it. Everyone's great in it. I especially loved Robert Pattinson because he's just endlessly charming and single-handedly bringing back the word blimey. It's not a problem with performances, it's that everyone in it feels like a piece on a chessboard. And sometimes that's okay. I mean, the team in Inception kind of feel like that too, but that's a story where the main character is the focus. Inception is what I would call a secret character study. It explores the psyche of a protagonist, but it bakes it into an action film. Inception's often criticised for being overly expositional, but that's only on a surface level. Yeah, it's teaching you about the rules of dreams, but really, it's teaching you about Dom Cobb. It's a therapy movie. It's a story about someone processing their trauma. And I will admit that I was expecting Tenet to have a similar approach. I thought it would be a character-based thing in a high-concept world. But it's nothing like that. Which is fine. Is that a problem? No, it's time-travelling James Bond. But even then, like the Bonds we like, or when Bond goes a bit deeper than that, and Nolan usually does go a bit deeper than that. And there are scenes in this film that I can tell that it wants me to care, but it hasn't done the legwork to make it emotional. Ironically, it doesn't spend enough time on it, and that becomes extra frustrating when the film uses that time on moments that I think are less important. I mean, what's that sailing scene about? Why does that need to be there? Some of the timeline stuff is really fun to think about afterwards. It lets you fill in some of the gaps yourself, but there is part of me that craves seeing it tied up in a satisfying, neat little bow. There's also an implication of a wider universe here, and I'm not saying that it's setting up a sequel, but if it was, I wouldn't be disappointed. Because I liked it, but I'd also like to see Nolan give it another go. So those are my spoiler-free thoughts on Tenet. I might do a spoiler discussion when the film is out for more people. If you want to see that, let me know. Or you might be watching this in the future, in which case I might have already done it. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, because if you liked it, that just makes sense. Thank you for watching. This video was sponsored by Surfshark VPN. They are offering you 85% off with 3 extra months for free. Just use the promo code Jack Howard. I'll leave the link in the description. Remember, this is the last time you'll be able to get this offer. Surfshark help you out with your data protection, but you can also, I don't know if you know this, you can also use it to change your location so you can watch different things that are blocked in your country. Yeah, I know. You can be like, oh, I want to watch things on American Netflix. Blow my mind.